Nice.
All right, guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this special series that we are curating under Up Your Game community called COVID-19 Survival Series. This is the 8th episode that we are going to be running, and this is also the final episode that we are running. I think we have run its course. We have covered quite a range of topics so far. We started last week with softer issues like addressing mental health, mental, emotional, physical well-being. We talked about the role of faith and beliefs in the times of crisis. We talk about how to deal with fear and uncertainty. So we have dealt with a lot of those softer topics, mind, body, heart topics last week. This week we have covered quite a bit of the how-to topics, especially with regards to bringing businesses online. So we have had some really good discussions with all of that so far. Today is really the wrap up to that, and we wanted to do this especially for our speaking and training community, because I think that this is a community that has been hit quite hard and has led to an overnight shift in focus, approach, methodology as well. So we have got a very good panel of speakers who are experienced in the online domain, especially with regards to speaking, training, and coaching with us today. So let me kick off very quickly by doing a quick, brief introduction for each of our panelists. First up, guys, we have got Nishant with us. Nishant is a world record holder, Guinness Record Holder as of 2011, and he's also a Grandmaster of Memory. Nishant has been running online training sessions and programs for quite a few years now. So he has successfully been on the online training space for a while. So I'm looking forward to hearing Nishant's insights into what are some of the systems that we can learn from too. Next, we have got Liyana. Liyana is the Digital Marketing Director for Anagram Group. If you guys have been on Facebook or anywhere online, you have probably seen a lot of their advertising, their marketing, and they're very strong in that. In fact, Liyana makes sure that her trainers are kept busy year-round, no breathers. I know that Mark does sometimes 3 to 4 days of trainings in a week, back-to-back in different countries sometimes. So they are fully booked out, and so Liyana has been doing a fantastic job with the marketing front, and we're going to hear from Liyana, how do we market our content effectively and successfully in the online space. Especially now with so many more people jumping on the bandwagon, it's going to become a very cluttered space. How do we stand out? How do we keep the cost down? Because usually when the space becomes crowded, the customer acquisition cost tends to go up. So how do we make sure that the cost remains low? Then we have got Jit Puru from Ideas and Inspiration. For those of you who have been following Ideas and Inspiration, you would know this, that there's been a phenomenal growth, especially in terms of YouTube subscription and viewership in the last 4 months alone. He has gone from a few thousand likes to 140,000 likes, sorry, 140,000 subscribers on YouTube, with videos getting as much. I think, Nishant, your video is growing about 2.5 million plus views right now. So these videos are being picked up even by massive media channels like Goldcast and being repurposed as well. So Jit has somehow managed to figure out the YouTube system, and he's going to share with us how do we optimize our YouTube presence, how do we monetize it, how do we work with it, and what are the elements that are required for us to look into it. So Jit, I'm looking forward to that from you. And lastly, we have Renee. Renee has been doing videos for speakers, trainers, and coaches for a long time. She knows the ins and outs. She knows what kind of videos work, what are the elements to look out for, how do you shoot good videos, how do you edit these videos to make sure that they're crisp, they're sharp, they're concise, and they're something that the audiences would love to watch. So Renee has helped a lot of speakers look better than they really are, and I'm one of those people who have benefited from this. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Renee for sure on this as well. So guys, these are our 4 panelists. I'm going to quickly give them about a minute or two to further introduce themselves if they've got anything else to add, and then we'll take the discussion forward from there. So Nishant, can we start with you, buddy?
Yeah, first of all, thanks, Rahul, for this thing. So I think there's nothing much I can add other than what you just mentioned. I think we are good to go. There's just one thing. I did start my online courses in 2016, but my first ever product online was in the year of 2008, and that started as an ebook. And so it's been like 12 years now in the making. But it started with an ebook, and now I fully have a fully functional online course. So yeah, I'm going to give you some ideas as we go along. Thank you.
Great, sounds good, Nishant. Looking forward to that. Can we have Liyana next?
Hi everyone. So I'm the marketing director of a training company that I've co-founded with my husband. And basically, we are a corporate training company. We have 220 clients in 19 countries. And we've got corporates and government agencies, and we had such a great pipeline for 2020, and we were super excited. It was going to be our best year ever. We had bookings all the way till October. And then the minute DORSCON Orange hit, everything changed. We thought it was going to be an Asia-wide pandemic. It was going to be like SARS. We did not expect it to go global because we thought, okay, maybe we can still salvage, some events in Dubai and stuff like that. But then, everything got wiped out. So we had to deal with basically getting all our events wiped up all the way till July. And now from July to October, those events are in jeopardy of being canceled due to the COVID situation. So today I'll be sharing a little bit more about what we did in a few weeks to quickly pivot our business online.
Great, sounds good, Liyana. Jeet, you're up next, bro.
Okay, all right. Thanks for having me, Rahul. Again, it's always a pleasure to be on Up Your Game, and I love the amount of people who showed up today. And in terms of my introduction, I think you covered most of it. Nothing else I can add on. You're right, Ideas and Inspiration did grow a lot in the last 4 months. And I think the only thing I could probably add on as part of my introduction is this. I've been part of YouTube since the last 4 or 5 years. I've had a channel. Right? But it's only in the last 6 months I actually realized how big of a potential revenue is on YouTube. I never knew it. 6 months ago, if you'd asked me, what are all these guys doing on YouTube, content creators or YouTubers, wasting their time coming out with videos, that was me. 6 months ago, I was like, why are these guys wasting their time on YouTube? Get a real job. 6 months later, this is what I do. I spend more time producing or creating content for YouTube than I actually go out and sell myself as a trainer or a speaker. So the potential is limitless. The sky is the limit. And I hope today, with the time that we have, I'm able to share a little bit that's going to give people more knowledge about YouTube, or at least the potential of YouTube, and why I sincerely believe everybody, especially if you're a trainer or a speaker, you should be having a YouTube channel and you should be monetizing your YouTube channel.
It sounds good, Jeet. Can we have Renee? You're up next.
Hi, everyone. Okay, first of all, thank you, Rahul, for inviting me here, and alongside with the 3 experts, Liyana, Nishant, and Jade. So basically, I'm a corporate videographer, and whatever Rahul has introduced me, it's somewhat all of it. My niche is basically filming for corporate for speakers. And the first person who actually got me into this niche is actually Jade. So really big thank you to him. And yeah, other than shooting for professional speakers, I do film for companies, for their events, for their business branding videos, and also for their products and services. So yeah, so.
Sounds good. So let's dive straight into this. Let's start by beginning what got you guys to get onto your online journey, right? What got you first started on your online business journey, or bringing segments of your business online, at least if not the entire business? So Nishant, you were mentioning something about the ebook since 2006, if I heard that right. So let's start with you first.
Yeah, I mean, many years ago, I attended a conference, and that is the first time in my life I heard something which is called as an autoresponder. Now, when I heard that thing, it blew my mind. Basically, I mean, now probably everyone knows what an autoresponder is. I'm talking about 2007. And there was, at that time, there was one company called Aweber, which is still in the game right now. So this is basically you enter your name and email address on a web page, and you can actually set up a sequence of emails where every 1 day, every 2 days, or every 3 days, the email goes on. So I was really fascinated as to, oh wow, if you have to do it manually, it's going to take a long time, but this can be done with technology. So that was my first introduction to online thing. And then I came to Singapore in 2006, and 2007, there was something which is called as the World Internet Congress that was in Singapore. I said, okay, I'm new to this country. I don't know anyone. So let me see if I can pick up some skills. I went there, And that is when all these internet marketing gurus, they were there and they were explaining, how they're making millions of dollars online. And at that time, my niche was on memory training, memory techniques. So I said, okay, let me just create an ebook on how anyone can improve their memory. And those of you who've been in the game for a long time around, you know a website called ezinearticles.com. It still exists, but it doesn't get as much traffic as it used to get back in the day. So I used to write articles. I think I still might be having those articles. And at the end of the article, you used to have a small bio, and then you have a bio to your ebook. And believe it or not, just by posting articles on ezinearticles.com, I used to get sales. It was $37 US for the ebook back then. So it's all technology. Everything is set up. People go, click the email, they get the name and email address, they enter their payment, and everything is done. And that was I think the start of online. So I was doing it hand in hand with my speaking and training. But in 2016, that is when I consciously decided that, hey, I need to be having even a high ticket product as well. I mean, it's not as high ticket as $2,000 product, but something like much better than a $37 product. I said, okay, what if I do a $200 product? And that's when it all started. So from that PDF, then I actually developed videos and became slightly better in how I can shoot videos. And I put up an online course. So that was a kind of, my journey into the online marketing world.
Great, sounds good. I think we'll go more in depth to that later on, understanding what are the systems that you've explored, what has worked for you, and what are some of the tools that people can use when they're going to get started. So we'll come back around to that.
Right.
Liyana.
Yes. So we started our online journey when we first started the business, and that was in 2013. So that just started with a website, a little bit of social media. And then we realized that actually that was our strong point because we were unknown at that point of time. And then it became a point where 80% of our inquiries were from our website. And it's quite a simple website. However, that's where we got most of our inquiries from. And then we started thinking, well, why don't we try to do more things online? So we started with very, very simple things, just online coaching, as well as we started to do webinars last year for some of our overseas clients where we mixed basically having a webinar together with some in-person training, but that helped decrease the cost of training for some companies because they could go through the webinar first and then an in-person workshop later. So now with the COVID crisis, what we're trying to do as in-person might not be possible for a long time, we are trying to offer a more blended virtual experience, which is maybe people can do an online course to learn the theory, and then they go on a webinar for all the Q&A and discussions. And that way it really offers them kind of a blended learning option, but it's all online.
Sounds great. So blended learning, let's come back to that and understand what more blended learning is really all about on top of the marketing funnels that you're going to be sharing with us. All right, so Jeet, next.
Yeah, so I think I briefly mentioned just now. So I actually got onto YouTube in 2014, right? But that was purely because at that point of time, I just started my company. I just started my journey as a professional speaker, as a trainer. And I wanted a YouTube channel just to showcase snippets of the talks that I deliver, or trainings that I'm delivering for clients. And that was my whole purpose of having a YouTube channel, right? So it was not about having subscribers. I didn't care about the views. I just wanted a platform to host snippets of me in action so that if I'm looking for new clients and they want to have a feel of what I do, I can just send them a link to my video. So when we started Ideas and Inspiration in 2018, so my goal was always to have Ideas and Inspiration as a platform that's going to serve the community and people get free access to knowledge and inspirational stuff. So obviously, I also started a YouTube channel for Ideas and Inspiration because at the live events, we get about 200 people in attendance every quarter. But with YouTube, we have a global audience. And I just put all the videos up, professionally recorded videos, nicely edited by yours truly, Renee, and these videos are up on our channel just for the world to get access to it. And not a lot of marketing was done for it because, again, I didn't know the potential of YouTube. So come 2019, last year, around November, that was when our channel kicked off organically. I can get more into that later if you guys have any questions about it. But 2019 was really when I started seeing the organic movement for the channel. And then it just flew. So since then, I've just been focused on growing the channel and just learning more about analytics of YouTube and how to push content out, how to create content that's going to go viral, how to get more subscribers, and just the whole marketing aspect of YouTube itself.
Sounds great. So we're going to go more into that. How the organic traffic work, how do you push the traffic out? How do you draw more traffic in? So let's look more into that later on. Renee, you are using online quite a bit as a space to get referrals, to get business and all that. So what got you started on it? Because traditionally, I know that videography companies depend a lot on word of mouth that's offline. They go for a lot of events, they go give out their name cards, they end up doing a lot of cold calling. But I know that you have been successfully leveraging online platforms for your business expansion. So what has been working for you and what got you started on that?
Yeah, okay. So for me, I'm a true believer of online presence. And I've been putting out content, business content, or even content which is useful for users and simple for users to follow. So all this content are actually being put up on my Instagram, on my Facebook, or even my LinkedIn, because my clientele are mostly corporate. So LinkedIn really works for me, and those content that I actually put up are mostly videos and also podcasts. I did a little bit about infographics, where it's really simple for users or even speakers, coaches, trainers who wants to know more about video and they actually want to do themselves without my service. They can actually follow and they can go ahead with it.
Sounds great. So
Yep.
Let's go back to you, Jit. Just because it's YouTube, I think it's one of those platforms that I think a lot of people will find it the easiest to start with, right? Because it's about shoot, upload kind of a thing. But the problem that happens after that is, what do I do with it, right? How do I get people to watch it? Because often the next step is I put it on my Facebook page or my profile page, I share it on LinkedIn, and I get 50 views. How do I get more people to see it, right? How do I push it out? How do I pull more people in? So let's start with you, because I think that seems to be the most natural step next.
Well, it's good. Well, that's actually a very good question. You see, the biggest problem with or at least the mentality of people putting content up on YouTube, and I'm speaking from experience because I was exactly like that before. I put the content up and I expect people to find that content, right? People would just queue up. They would flock to see the content or to consume the content because, it's great content. So here's the analogy like I like to share, right? You can make the best apple pies in the world, the best apple pies in the world. But if no one knows about your apple pies, no one's going to come and buy them or eat them, all right? So, which means the first step, of course, towards starting a YouTube channel or having a YouTube channel is content. You've got to create great content. You've got to create quality content. But once you upload the content, that's when, to me, the real work starts. Because now you've got to promote that content. You've got to put that content out there. You've got to share that content. You see, YouTube is a search engine, all right? And YouTube is the second largest search engine after Google. And who owns YouTube? Google owns YouTube, which means number one and number two in the world is Google. So it's a search engine, and we have to treat it as such. Every day, there are millions of searches. How do you make your video pop up when people are searching for something that's relevant? And YouTube has an algorithm that's going to help push your content out. I always tell people this: there is no way you can get 1 million views for any of your videos unless YouTube helps you get that 1 million views, right? Because I don't know 1 million people, and I don't think anybody knows or has 1 million people in their network, right? Which means YouTube needs to help push that content out. But YouTube has a set of metrics that they look into because they want to only push popular videos out. So how do you deem your content popular? And that's where certain metrics come into play. Your video must already have a little bit of organic traffic. It must already have decent engagement, because with decent engagement meaning people must already be liking your videos, people must be engaging with your video in the sense of commenting on your videos. They must be asking questions, and you must be proactive as well in terms of answering those questions. And they look at metrics such as retention rate. How many % of your video are people watching? Because if you have a 10-minute video and people are only watching 1 minute and they click away, that means your video is not very engaging. It's only got a 10% retention rate, and that's the difference between a live audience and an online audience. A lot of trainers and speakers are so used to a live audience. And the thing about live audiences is this: live audiences generally don't walk away from a 15-minute talk or a 20-minute talk, because worst case, they know that after 15 minutes, the next speaker is going to come up. But online, people have the luxury to click away. In the first minute, in the first 2 minutes, if you don't catch the attention of people, they are going to click away. And that's going to affect your retention rate. So there are a lot of metrics that you got to look into. But in the beginning, if you want YouTube to help push your content out, in the form of suggested videos, you have to create that organic traffic to your video, right? You've got to put that word out. So this is what I always tell people. I say, hey, videos that we produce on YouTube, the content that we create on YouTube is free, which means it doesn't cost anyone to watch those videos, right? So you've got to look for that group, your audience, that's going to benefit most from watching your videos. It could be a community that you have created or a community that you're part of, both online and offline. You've got to go to forums, you've got to join discussions, and you've got to share your expertise there. You've got to send the links to your videos to people so that they will watch. Encourage your network, your social network, to comment on your videos, to ask questions. Don't just ask for positive comments, because anybody can write a comment and say that, that's a great video, keep it up, keep it coming. But the engagements that's much better is when people ask questions, because now you can add more value, you can answer those questions, and that itself can become a point of discussion that takes the thread quite long. So YouTube metrics looks into all of this, right? So when you push it out, and if you can create that organic traffic to your video, you are getting the attention of YouTube. Basically, you are trying to stand out of a crowd and trying to tell YouTube, hey, look at me, I've got great content. And the moment YouTube realizes that, hey, you know what? A lot of people are watching this video. A lot of people are engaging with it. A lot of people are asking questions. YouTube's going to take a closer look. And once they discover that, hey, this is a great video, they are going to suggest this video to more people. And it's a global reach. Nishant's part of the panel today. Nishant delivered an Ideas and Inspiration talk July of last year, right, 2019, during our first anniversary event. Nishant's video is 2.8 million views now. On a good day, Nishant gets about 50 to 60,000 views per day. On a bad day, he gets about 20,000 to 25,000 views per day, right? And what am I doing for Nishant's video at this point of time? Absolutely nothing, because YouTube has taken over. Right? Is Nishant doing anything to really push his video out right now? At this point of time, no. Right? YouTube is suggesting the video because his video is really popular. Okay? But in the beginning, Nishant and me had to do quite a fair bit to create that organic traffic. We were doing email blasts to send it out to people, encouraging people to comment. I was putting it on every social forum that I knew. And I said, this is a great video on how to learn anything fast. I was sending it to schools to encourage students to watch. I was putting it as part of my email sign-off. So we've got to create that traffic in the beginning. One of the saddest things I've always seen is this. Speakers and trainers often upload content to their YouTube channel. After 2 days, if you look at that video, it's got 0 views, like really 0 views, not a single view. It's sad because there's a lot of work that's put into it, but not a single view when YouTube has a global reach. But then the question becomes this. If not a single person watched that video, that also means that the person who uploaded that video also did not watch their video. The trainer and the speaker who put that video up didn't even watch his own video or her own video. So why should YouTube watch and promote your video? So whenever I see 0 views, I'm like, hey, you know what? Something's got to change. So these are the little things that I think we've got to start thinking differently. Okay, so if I'm just going to simplify this, how do you push your video out, your content out? You've got to create that organic traffic in the beginning. Maybe that first 1,000 to 2,000 views, you've got to go out and you've got to be very proactive. You must have a sense of urgency to get that 1,000 to 2,000 views. You know, it's not over 6 to 8 months. Just have that sense of urgency. Get that engagement levels up. Make sure you create quality content, tight content that's keeping the retention level high. Get people to engage with it, ask questions, be proactive, reply those questions, you know, and just keep pushing it and monitor your analytics and start seeing when YouTube starts suggesting the video to other people.
Jit, one last question before we move on to Nishant. Can people make money from this?
Oh, definitely. Would you like to know how much money I'm making from it?
Are you going to share with us?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think it's something that it's encouraging. And that's what I'll say. Because one thing in the YouTube community is this. You can just go to YouTube and you do a simple search on how much money can I make on YouTube. Right? There are so many content creators who are just willingly sharing how much they make on YouTube, not to boast, but more to inspire other people and to tell people that, hey, this is possible. All right. And I'm more than happy to share with it, because one of the reasons is a lot of people ask, especially like right now, during what's going on with the lockdown and the COVID-19, a lot of people's revenue has been affected. Okay. But if there's any business that's recession-proof, one of it is really being a YouTube content creator, because the more people stay at home, the more they're consuming information online, you know, and YouTube is free. 40% of my audience comes from India, all right? So the other 60% comes from other parts of the world. The first day that India went into their lockdown, day 1 that India went into lockdown, my traffic on the channel jumped 3 times, you know, and day 2, it remained, day 3. After that, it went down, it normalized again. During that 3 days, all right, just that 3 days that India locked down and people were just watching a lot of YouTube before I think they realized that after 3 days, there's actually other things to do. That 3 days, YouTube revenue for me was $2,000. Just through ads, okay? So that's not an everyday thing, but once in a while that happens. So to date, the best revenue I've got to date was $500 a day in ad revenue, you know? But the worst is about $50 to $60 a day, you know? So that's not too bad as well, you know, in terms of revenue, because if you're talking about $50 a day, you know, that's what, 10 days, that's 5, how much is it? My math is a bit bad, right?
Well, that buys you 10 packets of chicken rice, right?
There you go. Yeah. So $50 a day, $500 in 10 days, you know, 30 days, that's $1,500. And that's just taking it really low. So you can earn a consistent and decent amount on YouTube. The highest earning YouTuber for 2019, a lot of people would have read about this young man. You know, it's actually a boy. It's an 8-year-old boy that earned $28 million on YouTube, and that was just ad revenue. Okay, $28 million. All right, so not everyone is earning $28 million, but the high performing YouTubers, they are earning $1 million a month. And on average, those who are really producing quality content, they're having about 1 to 2 million subscribers, and each one of their videos are getting about 100,000 views. These guys are earning about 30,000 a month. You know, so it is sustainable. All right, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's not as easy as just making a video, uploading up to YouTube, and magically waiting for the traffic to come to you. All right, it is a full-time job like any other job, you know, which means we have to dedicate the time to learn how to make videos go viral. right? So to answer your question, Rahul, yes, you can earn a decent living by being a YouTube content creator.
And the reason why I wanted to ask is because we're going to move on to Nishant next. I think the models here are quite different because what you have is you're putting something out there, it's free to consume, it's not costing the audience any money, it's not costing you much money except for maybe the production cost. But on the other hand, YouTube is paying for ads that are earned, but your responsibility now is that people come and watch those videos for a fair amount of time so that there's enough engagement to show YouTube that this is a good video, people are interested in it, so that they can now take over and they can start pushing it out. So the initial work of driving organic traffic has to come in, and that's your time investment or effort investment. But after that, the income is really passive. As compared to what, Nishant, your model was, you actually started writing articles, pointing them towards a site where you are hosting your product, your ebook, for example, and that's where you have to go and buy their ebooks. So the revenue now is coming in from a purchase. So what you're doing is active sales, and you're creating a funnel where you're putting people through a funnel so that the sale can happen. So how did that work out for you, and what are some of the mechanics that people need to be mindful of when it comes to what's important for us to sell online products and services, whether it's trainings, ebooks, or any of those things?
Okay, so just I'd like to start with a disclaimer because in the online marketing world, just like what Jit was saying, I mean, in YouTube revenue models, there are probably 100 different ways of how you can make money on YouTube, right? So it could be content, it could be videos, it could be, I don't know, there are a lot of other ways. Similarly, when it comes to creating online courses, there are a lot of people who use different models. So I'm no way saying that what I'm going to share right now is the method that one should follow. All I'm saying is this is what I have been following and have been working well. So you have to keep that in mind as we go along because it is working for me, and I have my own set of rules that I've created along the way, and I'm going to share that. So you need to experiment because this is a big, I mean, everyone on this panel, they will know that there's no one formula for success in the online world or generally in anything else in life. So that's just a big disclaimer. So I had to say that. So having said that, the thing that, okay, can I just have a quick, idea, people who are watching online, how many of you are speakers, trainers, or you have some kind of expertise? Of course, all of us in the panel, we all have that, but people who are participants, I think we've got about 15 people other than the panelists. So if you are a speaker or a trainer or even an expert, you don't have to speak or train, maybe you've written a book or maybe you are in the habit of writing articles. So if you have some decent level of expertise, then the good news is you can start an online business in the online marketing world. Now, one of the first things that people need to work on is the mindset. Now, when I say that mindset is because especially speakers, trainers, and I've been a victim of this as well, is, the fear of, not the fear, it's a perfectionist trap. Hey, what about the lighting? What about the video? What about the audio? What about the slides? I mean, am I speaking too fast? What about my accent? So there are like 20 different things that you need to take care of. Now, here's the thing. I mean, actually for me, writing an article was very easy. Writing an ebook was very easy. It's just like, you can just do it up and then you can publish it. But if you want to create a video, like of course, Renee is going to say it later, how you can make a better video. But for me, I just jumped on it. And without much information, I just jumped on. One day I just decided that, okay, I still remember 2016, my son was born, second son was born. And I decided that until my second son is 3 years old, my focus will be to spend as much time as I can with him. So I dedicated from 2016 to 2019, 100% to online. I haven't done any much of speaking training those 3 years. And I think I made the right decision. And I just jumped on with whatever I had. I did not buy any webcam, nothing. I just used the Mac camera that I have it. I just use this Audio Technica mic. This is no longer available right now. It's extinct. Doesn't work. I mean, not doesn't work. It works still, but it's not available to buy anymore. So I just use whatever I had, and boom, I just created the thing. So I think the biggest block that many people will have is the mindset. So my suggestion is just do it, and if it's not good, delete it and make a better one. So that is the only way in which you can do that. That's number one. And actually coming back to the actual system, I like to talk about these three things. Oops, is it reversed? My letters?
Is it TCM or MCT?
It's MCT, but is it mirror or can you see
No,
actually
it's
MCT?
correct.
Oh, okay. How come I'm seeing the mirror image? Okay, anyway. So I'm seeing the mirror image. So it's MCT. So what is M? Okay, this is the bit mind shift here for many speakers and trainers. The first thing, the first skill, and I think Liyana will later definitely will say this, probably, she'll agree with me, and that is you need to be good in marketing. I mean, you could be great in your content. I know a lot of speakers, trainers, they've created a lot of courses and they're gathering online dust. No one is buying it because they're very bad in marketing. Now, like what Jit was saying, as the same thing, you could create a great video, but if no one is watching it, then what's the point? Now, for YouTube, at least you can drive people, you can tell people, say, hey, go watch it. But if you have a good course, but if you're not good in marketing, it's not really going to helpful. So I think the first skill that any speaker trainer you want to go online that you need to master, not even master, just get some idea first of all, is marketing. And specifically, one skill is copywriting. It's the most important thing. I know some people, in the absence of a better word, I would use okay, I don't want to use a swear word here. Really bad products, but unbelievable excellent copy. That means the benefits, the bullets, the headlines, the testimonials, all these things. Some are fake testimonials, by the way, but the marketing copy is fantastic. And then the moment you look at it, boom, you just make a purchase. And of course, I will definitely not recommend that because you need to have a good product for people to recommend to other people. So the first thing you need to master is marketing and specifically copywriting. And I can tell you, even if you have a good enough product, and if your product can deliver the promise that you give to people, and if you have a good copywriting, you're going to really make a good impact. I mean, first of all, you're going to serve a lot of people. Number two, you're going to make money as well. That's number one. Number two, quickly, is the content. Now, for speakers trainers, this is the easiest thing because you're already an expert. It's very easy for you to create content. Now here, I'd like to give you just a small distinction here. You need to have two different kinds of content. The first content obviously has to be your online course itself, your videos, your modules, and all that stuff. When people make a purchase, when they go into the online membership area, so whatever they see, that is the content. That is, of course, you need to have it. But the other content that you need to create, and it has to be really good, is what I call, or what in the industry people call, is educational based content. So or value, it's a value content. You're not selling anything, but you are giving value. There's nothing to sell. You're just giving pure value. And okay, this is a bit stretch here, but having done this for 4 years, I can tell you one thing. Before you start your online business, I would suggest that write at least 50 articles, 50 articles on your topic. For example, if JIT were to create a course on how to make money on YouTube, I would encourage JIT to create 50 articles and put them in the autoresponder, and every week once, and then just send it to their people. Hey, in this week, I'll tell you how the YouTube algorithm works, blah, blah, blah. Number two, do you know the top 10 YouTube people and how much money they're making? Number three, what are the top 5 niches that you can make in YouTube? Blah, you get the point. So if you're an expert in something, it's very easy for you to create content. For example, let's say, for example, Renee, right? So if you were to create an online course on your topic, you already, millions of people ask you the same question, if not millions, hundreds of people. Hey, what mic to use? What camera to use? This is the content. So, right? So these are simple content and doesn't have to be like world class. If you get the chance, go to Seth Godin's blog, SETHGODIN, and he writes a blog every day. Every day there's a blog post. And then how many words? Some days it's 50 words, some days 100 words. But he's a great example of someone who says, okay, just ship it out. He uses the word ship it out, just ship it. You need to produce content. You do not consume, you need to produce content. So that's the 2 types of content. You need to have an online course content, and you need to have people to educate about, for example, in my case, it's about memory, it's about supercharging our learning, it's about focus, it's about productivity. Yeah, I have a lot of articles about these things, and I just put them in an online thing, and then people will get it. And every now and then, you just put a link. Hey, by the way, did you know that I have a course on this? Now, this is not a proper launch technique I'm talking about. This is again proper launch systems that'll come later. But right now I'm just saying that just drop in a line. You give them value. You say, hey, do you know that I also have a course? Some people will buy, many people will not. But it's okay. That's how you do it. And of course, the last one, which is of course a big problem I see for many people, is T for technology. Again, it's like you can confuse yourself until the end of the world, like, you know, which platform to use. I mean, is it WordPress? Is it Kajabi? Is it this? Is it that? What kind of hosting and everything? So my suggestion is, it's very simple. It actually comes to one question: how much spare money do you have for doing this? If you don't have a lot of money, you could just use WordPress, but you need to have technical knowledge of how WordPress works. Or if you can spare some money, maybe $100 a month, then you could actually have a system like Teachable or Kajabi or Kartra. The system that I recommend 100% right now is Kartra. So it's Kartra. So if you want to know more about how Kartra works, just let me know, because you need to know the underworkings of how these things work. But again, I would not say Kartra. Kartra is a solution I give for all-in-one solutions. But you can actually do a piecemeal, like you could do a WordPress blog, and you can use a get response autoresponder, and you can use PayPal. Okay, here's the thing. In technology, let me make it easy for you. You need 4 things for technology. Number 1, you need a page. You need a page. So a page is a web page where, you know, you could write what your course is all about. So it's a web page. So you need to have a page builder. It's a page software. So zero money, you can do it for free on WordPress or some kind of blogging software. So number 2 is you need to have an autoresponder. Autoresponder is something where I told you. So when people put your name and email address, for example, a good example of autoresponder, go to this link, bit.ly/UYG Zoom, all capitals. So you go there, enter your name and email address, and you will get an email instantly. So this is, for those of you speakers, trainers, for those of you who are watching this event recording, so this is a list for me where I give some free ideas on how you can have online courses and all that. You can unsubscribe anytime you want. So this is an example of that. So you need to have a page builder, you need to have an autoresponder where people can put in the email address. And if you have no money, start with MailChimp. It's free for the first 2,000 contacts. I think it's 2,500, something like that. So you can start with free. I mean, most of these things you could start with free, and that actually, you know, takes you out of this, you know, the mind rut that, oh, I need to have a lot of money. And you know, the best platform is JIT's platform is YouTube. Go to YouTube and search how to use MailChimp. Boom, you get an idea. Go to YouTube. How to write a blog post on WordPress. Boom, you get an idea. So you don't have it. It's so easy nowadays with YouTube, right? The number 2 is autoresponder. Number 3 is some kind of payment processing. If you don't have money and you want to start it right now, go to paypal.com. We are blessed in this part of the world because in Singapore, India, in the US, in most of Europe, I think PayPal you can actually accept. But there are some countries in the world where PayPal is not an option. So unfortunately, but you know, PayPal, for many countries in the world, you can actually accept payments with PayPal. So just go there, set up your business account. It's free. Every sale they get, you get some percentage. They take some percentage. And of course, if you want to be a little bit more streamlined, I would recommend Stripe, which is what I use. So for that, you need to have a business and all that stuff. But easy to start is PayPal. Otherwise, it's Stripe. And of course, the last one is the membership site. Okay, so people come to your page. They'll enter your name and email address for your content. And when the time comes to make the payment, they'll pay with PayPal. And once they make the payment, where do they go? To consume the content. So there, you need to have a membership site. And that is where things like Kajabi, Thinkific, Kartra, all these things will come. And again, if you don't have money, I've seen people who have hosted their course on secret Facebook groups. Take the money, put all your videos on a Facebook group, so no money required, it's all there. But I just I'm not saying that, hey, you should use Facebook because there's privacy issues, people can share and all that stuff. It's not password protected, blah, blah, blah. I would definitely use something which is more robust, but I'm just saying, if someone of you is watching this thing and you know you have some content that you want to share to the world, if you want to start right now, there's nothing on the planet that is stopping you. Even if you have $0, you can start right now with a Facebook free account, and you can actually use YouTube actually to host your content and make it unlisted or private, and people can watch your content also. So, so that is what I do. So again, coming back to the thing, again, I don't want to make complicate things here, but there's something which is called as funnels. There's something which is called as launch campaigns. All these things are there that actually are robust mechanisms of how you can drive people from your list. For example, you've been nurturing a list for the last 1 year. You can actually have one small window of 7 days, and you say, okay, in this 7 days, I'm going to go crazy. And I'm going to send an email, say, hey, this is a special offer, boom, 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 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, 6 day, 7 day. By 7 days, boom, a lot of people signing up, and then you can nurture those people. That's all in the launch mechanism that you actually have. So I'm not sure if it was too much in a too short period of time, but I think these are the steps that you need to take. And also, I'd like to tell you what, leveraging on what Jit said, I like to have, this is a very interesting combination. Now, I was ignoring YouTube for the longest period of time. Now, only when my video was up on Jit's channel, holy cow, I mean, like, people are coming to my website like in hundreds every day, and I'm thinking, and people are buying my course, right? So this is again a power. If you have if you have a system like Jits has, you have your content on YouTube, and you subtly drop a link, say, hey, you want more information? I have a course, and you put a link there. And if your video is popular, a small percentage of people will come and buy your course. And well, I can't give you exact numbers, but I can tell you that I get sales every day, right? So my product is $200. Of course, there are some days where you don't get any sale, and there are some days you get 10 sales a day. So I do get sales almost every day. So that is, I mean, but for all these things to work, you need to have your MCT. And the biggest thing is the first thing I told you, which is the mindset. And none of these marketing, content, technology is going to work for you if you don't start. So, and this is the best time to start. I mean, you have nothing else to do. You're sitting at home most of the time, and you have content in your head. Just bring it out, put it out. And if not anything else, first start YouTube videos like what Jit was saying, and then people will start asking questions, and oh wow, this is what people really want. And then you can actually create a course out of that. So my best advice, start already. Yeah.
Start already. All right. Guys, I really hope you have been sitting there with your pen and paper, because this has been gold. All right, this is the kind of specifics that you expect to get in master classes that you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for. All right, so Nishant, Jit, thank you guys so much for getting this off to a great start. Liyana, you are on next. I think they have both spoken a lot about driving organic traffic, creating funnels, launch campaigns, and I got a feeling this is something that's right up your alley. All right, please enlighten us. Like, if anybody, okay, now we have got a video, we have put it up on YouTube, we have created a product, we have got a page done, we have got the autoresponders. How do I get it out to the world to make sure there's enough traffic coming in to get me bookings, to get me inquiries, to get me sales? What do we do?
So for me, I like very simplified funnels. So I don't like to go too detailed. I don't like it to be too long. I like to be quite direct, because I guess I specialize in more B2B type training. My background is actually B2B sales and marketing. So that's kind of my strength. So all this time we've been mostly B2B, and our process is very simple. We first start with ads and SEO, and those ads could be Facebook ads, they could be Google ads, and then the SEO, I actually like to do it myself because I like to see it as a challenge. And I try to challenge myself, like, can I get on Google page 1 in 2 weeks? Can I get on Google page 1 in 3 weeks? That kind of thing. It really depends on how challenging it is for that particular term I'm trying to rank for. So I find that having some paid efforts and some free efforts to be quite a good combination, because the ads are just a way to make it be faster. But the SEO, I feel, improves me as a marketeer. So I try to challenge myself and set ambitious targets for how much organic traffic I can get. And like Nishant said, you shouldn't be a perfectionist. You just have to try it out, just experiment again and again. And for those ads that we do, I'm testing a number of things. So I'm testing keywords, I'm testing the colors, I'm testing the images, I'm testing the audience. So I look at all of these factors and I run the ad about 10, 20 times. And then when I'm very convinced that, you know what, this is the winning ad, this is the winning copy, this is the winning audience, then I put my money on it. But I can make such small experiments that don't cost me more than $5 a day. And I think, you know, all of us can afford $5 a day. So I try to start small because this is, you know, uncharted territory. I have no idea how this ad is going to perform. And I have to listen to my audience, because every time you look at those analytics and you look at the results, you realize that, you know what, sometimes your assumptions are completely wrong. You thought the ad was nicer in red, but maybe that's just your bias. But, you know, other people like the ad in blue. And so for us, that's why we use so much blue in all our branding, because we found that, you know, the color blue really works for our brand. And I think because it is a training company, you know, and blue is the color of trust. It's the color that a lot of banks use. It's a color that, you know, a lot of like government agencies use. So people associate the color blue with trust. And so even a small, you know, finding like that can really, really help, you know, you sell more of your services. So from those ads and the SEO, we go to the landing page. And my landing page is very simple. I just use Wix because it's an all-in-one solution. I tried WordPress. I found it a little too technical. I found it also a little bit unsafe because, you know, sometimes WordPress websites without enough security can get hacked. And then from that landing page, really, I just ask people to shoot me an email. And when I get that email from our clients, we have a same-day proposal promise. So that's what we offer. We say, whatever, you know, whatever day it is, even if we're having a workshop, we are going to respond to you within 1 working day with a proposal. If it's a very simple request, if it's a more complicated request, you know, then, you know, it might take 2 days, but we like to capitalize on our speed. And that's because my husband's the trainer and I'm the sales and marketing person. So no matter what his schedule is, I can always reply. And then after that, we're usually able to close the deal, because when we send that email, we send out a few links to videos as well. And then they can see the show reel, they can see what, you know, the trainer sounds like. And about 70% of the time, we can close the deal without even meeting them. And this is for in-person training. So that really saves so much time. And I think that says a lot about the simplicity of our process and how good the marketing is, because 30% of the time, I have no idea what my client looks like. I've never met them. You know, I might have spoken to them on the phone, but I've never met them before. And so we're going to probably try the same process for online training. And the online training market will be slightly different because it is B2C. So I think we do have to put out more engaging content. Whereas B2B, you know, it doesn't have to be as engaging, but it does have to drive the leads. So I think on having an online course for us, you know, would be a different kind of challenge. That said, we started working on our online course. We started publicizing it a bit like a Kickstarter. And funnily enough, we pre-sold about 80 tickets. So that's wonderful because that already covers my production costs. So it's not completely, you know, as risky a venture as I thought it would be. So, you know, I think especially with, you know, the COVID-19 situation, I think all of us need to just be agile and nimble and, you know, try to use online as much as possible, because you know what, everybody is at home now. You've got a captive audience. So this is the time to push out the content. This is the time to be trying new experiments. I've also read that advertising costs are slightly lower for some industries. So, you know, if you think your industry isn't advertising as much right now, then this is the time for you to start advertising.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions just to go a bit deeper into some of these things, right? So first and foremost, you mentioned SEO. Now, SEO is something that's not easy to learn. There are really a lot of layers to SEO, from the main tags to the meta tags, you know, to the way that the paragraphing is done, to the way the titling is done. So a lot of components, keywords, there's a lot of components that play a part in SEO. If anybody wants to quickly pick up some starting tips for SEO, where would you suggest that they turn to? You know, is there any good resources that helped you?
Yeah, well, the first one is, you know, obviously YouTube. And the second one is my favorite marketing guy called Neil Patel. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's basically like a marketing influencer type guy, and he's got his own agency. And what I like is that he gives all his free, and it's very, very practical, and he just gets straight to the point. So I really like his style of engagement and his style of, sharing his thoughts. But that said, there's so many blogs on online marketing. The other resource that I like is anything that a marketing or an SEO agency, any of their free ebooks and articles, those are really useful because they don't only work on it for their business, they work on it for 20 other businesses and 20 other organizations, or maybe more. So, look at all these thought leaders for, the best articles. There's so many free things online. And you could also even get a freelancer. So, if you've got Fiverr.com or freelancer.com, if you yourself are not familiar with that and you think, you know what, I'm never going to be good at this, then outsource it. And you can outsource it for a very small amount of money. It can be as little as $10. It can be as little as $100, whatever you're comfortable with. I think also as entrepreneurs, as business leaders, I think we all also need to acknowledge that some things are impossible for us to do. For example, I would never try to do the finance myself. I think I'm way too creative. And, I don't think creativity is a good thing when it comes to finance. So I think all of us need to figure out what we are simply not good at, and outsource those things to the professionals if we really can't do it.
I do know for a fact that creative accountants are in demand in a lot of organizations. But we're not going to get into that today. That's a separate topic for a separate day. You also talk about advertising, paid advertising, and putting that out. Now, if someone is starting off, should they be spending more money on Facebook, or should they be putting more money towards Google? Where should the initial campaigns be?
In my experience, Google is a lot more expensive than Facebook. I think it's about 6 times more expensive to get a click on Google than it is on Facebook, which is why I like to do the SEO thing, because then that helps me get traffic from Google, but without paying for it. Plus, it's also a better investment in my eyes because, when you work on organic SEO, it will just skyrocket, as time goes by, a bit like, having a YouTube video. If you work on it and all that, if you try to drive traffic yourself, then, YouTube rewards you and Google rewards you. And then the other hack I have is that having a YouTube video actually increases your Google ranking because, like Jit said, it is the same company. So, one of the best ways to skyrocket your website through Google is actually by putting in a YouTube video and also having a link to your website and all of that. So, since, Facebook and Instagram are the same company, and then, you've got Google and YouTube, which are the same company, really try to figure out, work out who are the biggest players in the industry, because, what you put on Facebook sometimes appears on Instagram and vice versa. So really, you need to work out who are the players in the digital marketing space and try to figure out some hacks. So, like what Jit said, you really have to put in a lot of effort into your YouTube video for Google to rank it as #1 as well. And then it also becomes a Google search result. When you go on Google and you click on the videos tab, it becomes #1.
Right. So, Liyana, the third question I'm going to ask you, and this you can choose not to answer if you don't want to, because it can be trade secret, maybe. I don't know. But for example, a lot of the buyers for the coaching, training sector are learning and development folks, HR folks, right? So let's say if I'm going to spend ad dollars on Facebook or Instagram or Google, who am I targeting as an audience? Am I going for broad target? Am I putting up a geographic target with an age group? Or am I going more specific into interests and things like that? What exactly am I targeting?
I think you have to look at the ages of the people. I think that's an important thing. Also, because some of the older people are not going to be as tech savvy, so they're not even going to be online. They might just come into the office and then they go home every day. So you need to look at the ages of your audience. The other thing is that the buyer profile has changed a lot. So while it always used to be a HR and learning and development person who would appoint a training company, now the purchases can come from any department. Everyone is empowered to make that decision where they are sourcing for training. So sometimes I even found that interns are the ones who are looking for training, and then they go and bring it to their team leader, and then that team leader will, you know, then bring it up to management. So I'm very surprised sometimes that even interns are the ones sourcing for training, and because it really depends on what the objective is. Because if it's team building, anybody can be looking for it. If it's leadership or management, then I think it would be, you know, more of that, you know, management layer. So it really depends what kind of training it is. But in my experience, the past few years, the profile of buyers has changed so much that I think it's better to target interests rather than a job title.
And what's the usual message in your ads usually? So is this a preview of a course? Is this a course title with an image, with a testimonial in the caption? What exactly is the message that's going out there that basically leads to that Wix site that you have?
Well, I just make a very simple message. You know, this is a blah, blah, blah course with this learning objective, inquire now. You know, and it's very, very, very simple, because the thing is, people don't have time. To me, what's more important is the image that you're promoting, but also beware of Facebook's, you know, text rules, because once you have too much text, Facebook will stop the ad, or they will ask you to redo the ad. So really be careful about how much text you're using, what's the text ratio, and what's the image ratio. So in my experience, the 1280 times 6 to 8 pixels size is the best size. And then also, what's the best color for your brand? And I think this is a time where you need to step back from what your preferences are and really think about the psychology of the colors that you're trying to promote. I mean, I love red. You know, I would make everything red if I could. But according to my analytics, my customers do not like red. They like blue. So, you know, I had to switch everything to blue because that's what they liked.
You know, no matter how much someone likes red, there's one place where nobody likes red, and that's on financial statements. Everybody likes them when it comes to that, right?
A lot of accounting jokes today.
I don't know. I've been spending a lot of time with my wife, so maybe that's what's been inspiring.
Yeah.
She's an accountant, so yeah, this is payback to her. Anyways, so thank you so much, Liyana. That's pretty interesting insights, guys. Again, I think what Liyana has shared with us is the difference between SEO and paid advertising when it comes to your ads. She has told us what are the key factors that we need to look at when you look at advertising, for example, keywords, colors, images, and your target audiences. Experiment with them first with $5 plus budget a day, low budgets basically, before you go on to put dump money. You see, a lot of times this happens. We had the same discussion yesterday on our panel as well, where it becomes like a casino effect, right? I've lost money. I want to make that back. I put in more money. So my ad is not doing well. I'm very tempted to pay more to boost it. I don't think, Liyana, that's what we're supposed to be doing. I think
no, that's not what you should be doing. You know, I start small. I start with $5. I start with $10. I start with $20, and then I look at the data and I look at all my audiences and I crunch the numbers. And, you know, by the time I get about 10, 20 sets of data, that becomes quite meaningful. And then that's telling me something as well. But I'm also looking out for days of the week that I'm advertising. So what I find is that I rarely get that many inquiries on a Friday. So what I find is most people are inquiring from Monday to Thursday, and then by Friday they switch off. They're trying to finish their urgent work. They're not inquiring anymore. So you really need to be wary of all these patterns in your business, because you know, my audience, they're online from Monday to Thursday. By Friday they stop inquiring about any new workshops and any new training, and on weekends they completely switch off. And they're also the type of audience that, you know, if you try to send them an email on a weekend, you try to WhatsApp them on a weekend, they will snap back at you, because usually they have families and they have quite stressful jobs, and they really don't want to talk to you over the weekend. So you also have to think about the profile of your audience. So if you're more B2B, maybe do more Monday to Friday. But if you're B2C, then I would say the weekend is your time, because this is when people are online. This is when people are trying to develop themselves and paying out of their own pocket for it. So it really depends on your audience profile, and you really have to understand your audience. And, you know, if you're not very sure of what your audience habits is, you know, look at the surveys, try to understand your audience, or very simply just have a focus group. You know, just have a group of, you know, 5 to 7 friends, buy them coffee or something, and, you know, just ask them to look at your marketing, ask them, you know, what are their thoughts are, what are their habits, you know, what time do they go to sleep, what time do they wake up, are they looking for your services on weekends or on weekdays? Because I think this can really help, because I feel like a lot of trainers out there, they don't actually understand their audience, and I think they really need to pay their audience more attention and maybe just do, you know, a very quick focus group. Even that can lend you so much insights. One of the insights I learned, you know, quite early on in my business was that the length of my brochure was too short. So I had a 2-page brochure, and, you know, my rationale was, well, who's got time to read more than 2 pages? And then one of my clients told me, do you know that your brochures are really, really short? And I said, yeah, but who has time to read more than 2 pages? And they said, do you know your competitors are sending 10 to 15 page proposals? And I was like, really? So, you know, after that, you know, I kind of recalibrated, and then I extended it, but I didn't want to go to 10 pages because I felt that was too long. So now it's 7 to 9 pages. So it's a lot more information than I used to give out. And it also, you know, I tried to benchmark with some of my competitors, and then I realized that, you know what, people need a lot more information when they're actually engaging a training provider. They want to know everything from your clients. They want to know what's your methodology. They want to know what your credentials are. They want to see a show reel. So they need a lot more information if they're going to choose you to appear in front of their organization.
There's also psychology, right, of materials. When you get a collateral that's a bit thicker, it just feels that this company is doing a whole lot more as compared to someone who's sending you a 2-pager. I and Jin have had a lot of discussions about this, because I think, so he knows this, my proposal is usually a 4-page Word document that's unformatted. and I've been surviving on that for the last 15 years. It's been doing really well. But I think at that same time, it comes with an element of trust. When you've been around for long enough, you have a certain reputation, so that helps. But I can imagine that if somebody who's fresh in the market tries to do the same thing, it may not be as effective because you don't have the same track record yet. So sometimes aesthetics are important. The look and form does make a difference. Down to even the paper grid that you're using when you're printing out those brochures and sending them out. So I know a lot of companies spend a lot of good money on just making sure that they're getting a good, you know, 250 GSM instead of the usual 100, 120 GSM art cut papers with a gloss laminate on it, bigger fonts, better graphics and all. And those kind of things actually make a whole lot of difference, because when it lands on your prospects' tables and they carry, there's a certain feel to it, there's more trust and credibility that comes along with that as well. So I think that's very useful insight.
And I think also just understanding your audience, because I don't know why, but I have like 20 clients named Joanne or Christine, you know, and they're all very logical people, and they like to make logical decisions. So I need to send them something that says to them, we are a trustworthy company. We are not adventurous, you know, we are trusted, we are reputable, blah, blah, blah. So really understanding your audience, I think, is very important.
Indeed. Let me come back to you, Nishant, for a very quick one, just to get a bit of a contrast to what Liyana has been sharing. So Liyana talks about how she has been using paid advertising together with SEO to work. Nishant, do you do paid as well, or are you depending largely on databases, warm lead funnels, you know, because you have been mentioning Aweber, you mentioned MailChimp, you're mentioning some of these things. So is your approach a bit different, where it's more of email marketing and a different kind of a funnel, basically?
Yeah, I mean, I do exactly what Liyana is doing. Mainly it's Facebook, but I don't do it all the time. So I have windows where I say, okay, this is a 7-day launch period, and that is when I drive people. Like, for example, if you ever have to go to my sales page for my online course, there's no opt-in page there. And as Liyana would know, there's a Facebook pixel there. So we actually collect these visitors. So when I have the launch period, so slowly Facebook is collecting all these people who visited my website. So I just decided, okay, you know what, say May 10th to the May 17th is my launch period. And that is when I will start educating my email list towards the launch, and also leveraging the power of Facebook pixeled audience to come to that website. And that is how I do that. So to make this very easy, if you use Facebook ads, it's just instant results. Right? It's instant. You see the results, you can tweak it, and you can make some adjustments, and boom, you see the results. So I use a mix of email marketing and but of course, most of my revenue comes from Facebook launches. Yeah.
So
So
at least we're
100%.
clear on that,
100%.
that you cannot run away if you want volume. There's no way you're going to be able to run away from not spending ad dollars. You probably have to. So that's an area that I think most of us will need to learn and master. Not into this discussion because I think that's a topic on its own.
No, just 1 second. I definitely want to say is what Liyana said, I think is 100% very, very relevant. It's all about understanding what your audience wants. Now, people who buy a memory or learning program versus people who buy how to make videos are totally different. And only when you run enough ads, and then the most important thing is you need to have the patience or hire someone to understand what data says, right? Okay, you can spend $5 every day and you can get the information, but then how do you collate that data and get intelligence from it and use that intelligence to refine your ads? And I think, which of course, as I can see very clearly, Liyana's system is so robust. So, you can go into like colors, the days of the week, the age of the people. I mean, you could go as deep as you can, but I think that's all paying off because over a period of time, you not only reduce the ad cost, but also increase the reach. So yes, so you need to do the research.
Yeah, great. Jeet, we're going to come back to you in a very short while because there's a question for you on whether a Zoom video like this, where it's edited to become a highlight and it's put up on YouTube, does it qualify as a revenue product? All right, but we're going to come back to that in a short while. Let me quickly jump to Renee. Renee, I think a lot of this has been about marketing, content, driving traffic and funnel so far. The question here is, I can get to the landing page and then I see a horrible product. That's not going to work for me, right? So how? I think first impressions are important. The reality is that people want to be engaged by something that looks good, right? Something that looks professionally done, something that is worth paying the dollar for. It doesn't matter how great your content is. You can be saying things that are worth millions of dollars, but if it's not going to look good, it's not going to be aesthetically pleasing, doesn't look professionally done, people do not want to pay a cent for it, right? So how can a speaker, a trainer, a coach, or anybody for that matter, any content creator, make sure that their videos are looking great?
Okay, that's actually a really good question, and I really agree with Nishant by just shifting your mindset and start not thinking too much about the equipments, whether you need to really have a good camera, because right now everything in our hands, our phones, it's all smartphone, right? And the quality that is available in your smartphone is really high definition as already. So you make use of that. Make use of your handphone, make use of your either iPhone or Android, it doesn't matter, as long as you can actually create your video in a high definition format. Best of all, if you have the option to do in 4K, then that is really great. Coming back to what your question is, in terms of the quality of the video, as much as the quality is really important, but sound is the most important of all, the audio. Yeah, so invest in good microphone like what Nishan has. There's a lot of microphones in the market. You can actually get a USB one, you can get the XLR one, you can even get the very basic one, which is using the 3.5 mm cable like this. Yeah, so it's really basic. And the one that I'm using right now is I'm actually using a Zoom. So this is actually a recorder and it can dual up as a microphone. So you just plug it into your computer, you can just plug it into your camera, or you can just plug it into your phone and act it as a microphone. Because right now, if your content is good, your quality of video is in 4K, but if your audio is not, your client or your audience will just gonna swipe up and not watch your video. Yeah, so the most important thing is for me, personally, and from my experience, is your audio and of course your lighting. It shouldn't be dark. It should be bright. Like, okay, let me show you. Okay, this is my bright face and this is my dark face. So it's really important. So you need to invest in both microphone and lighting. Very basic one, very basic lighting. The one that I have at the back here is actually quite this is quite professionally owned. This is a very it's actually a LED light. It has orange warm light and it has the blue the white light too. So you can invest on audio, important, and the lighting as well. So it's good to have good content, like I mentioned. But if your audio is not good and your light, and if suddenly your video is all in dark, it's all dark, cannot see you at all, then they are not going to watch your video.
Great.
Yep.
Let me ask you some specifics,
Yes.
just to tap on your mind a bit over
Sure.
here. Entry-level microphone, someone who's just getting started, don't know what they're going to do with it. They do not want to invest in something that's a few $100s and then sits and collect dust. So, just to get confidence, get the momentum going, what's
Yep.
the most entry-level mic that they can probably invest in?
Most entry level, less than $50.
Okay. And
you
is
can
there
get
this
kind
brand or okay.
Yeah, so no specific, but good mics like for less than $50, you can get a brand name Ceremonic, okay, or Boya, right? Boya and Ceremonic is a sister company, so they are good, and you can now they're available. The availability in terms of mic are really wide range, so it depends on what kind of video you wanna film, what kind of content you wanna film, and where do you actually want to film your content. For example, if you want to film just using your camera, just using your phone, you can just buy a lapel mic that is connected to your phone, and then just clip it on to yourself, just like this. Okay? Yeah, so just plug it into your phone and you are good to go.
Okay, and I think there's a question on there's an app, say Crisp app helps to cut off background noise. Would you suggest that?
Crisp app, okay. If you actually have a very good mic, you just need to have a very simple app. Like, okay, the one that I have in my phone is, I'm using iPhone, so I'm only using iMovie if I want to edit quick and simple editing, and just to change probably a little bit about the audio quality in terms of the background noise. All these noises, you have to make sure that it has to be crisp, in a sense that no noise of fan or the aircon. Yeah, Jit, you are laughing. Why? Okay, anyway. Yeah, so all these noises will actually get picked up by by the microphone. So when you want to film a video, just make sure all this surrounding noise that one you can control, which is the fan and the aircon, make sure it's switched off so that you can get a crisp audio. And another app that I'm actually using is, let me just look on the app. Okay, it's called Filmora Go. Filmora Go is one of the app that I use frequently.
How do you spell that, Renee?
Filmorago, as in go. Yeah, this is one of the app that I use frequently to do quick editings as well. There's another one called Premiere Rush. It's the same as Adobe Premiere in the software inside your computer, but this is in your phone. It's really useful, but you have to pay for it. I think it's about $20 for that app. Yeah. So these three apps I use really frequently, depending on what kind of video I want to create on that particular day or particular content. I just need to do a little bit of editing in terms of the color, in terms of the audio, making sure that there's the bass is right, making sure that my voice is can be heard, and to add in music as well. Yes. So even though you are a trainer, right, and you are creating content, doesn't mean your audio has to be just your voice all the way. You can actually add in music so that the audience, when listening to your video, will not be bored. Yeah. So you have to add in subtle music at the background to basically, because human ears are, like we can listen to the slightest sound possible. So if, for example, you actually have an audio which is not really crisp, and you just leave it as that, as in your voice, you the audience may be able to pick up the sound of the fan, the sound of the aircon, the sound of the birds, the sound of traffic. But if you actually include subtle music in your content, the listeners will be able to know, oh, okay, there's some soothing music that's going on with this content, and they will listen to you talking more than just, you know, they will be distracted if you don't put in new music.
Got it. So
Yep.
I think that's very useful, right? So I'm a trainer. I'm going to be doing a lot of my work on platforms like Zoom and Skype, or I'm going to be recording content for YouTube or my online learning platforms. So entry level mics will be good enough. That's what I'm hearing for a start,
Yes,
right? Either
yes.
lapels with the 3mm jack.
Yeah, 3.5 mm lapel. If you're actually just using your mobile phone, just invest on that lapel mic. The availability in terms of the length, just get the longest one, because you might want to be away from your smartphone, not too near, so that at least it's half bodied. So you need to get a tripod. You need to get the lapel mic. So when your the wired lapel mic is long, then you can just clip it to yourself, and you can go ahead with your content. Of course, if you have if you want to invest more, there's wireless that is available, but that probably costs a little bit over than $100.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So up to your budgets, guys. But yes, what we're hearing is you can get something for below $50. So there's no reason not to start with getting the right equipment in. Rennie, there's a problem. You said switch off the fan and the aircon.
Yes.
Some of us perspire a lot.
Huh? What?
Some of us tend to perspire a lot. So what do we do?
Because you are recording it, right? So if you feel yourself perspiring, stop the recording, wipe yourself first, start again.
Yeah, but make sure you
put it together.
But put in a marking as to where I last stopped.
Yes, of course.
So I can continue from there.
Correct.
Well, guys, I'm just going to share a story. I did a recording with Rennie and Jeet on a 20-minute, 45-minute video, and Rennie is such a professional, right? She's such a perfectionist. Every time there's a bird chirping, she made me stop. Every time there was a plane flying over, she made me stop. Every time there was a bus passing by, she made me stop. And so happened that the kids were at home. Jeet's neighbors' kids were at home, and they were out playing. And they were having a whole lot of fun. So I was in the flow, and I was talking, and I was sharing. And every time I'm in the flow, I'm going to come to a point I have to stop. And the worst part is not the stopping. The part is, after that, when you want to resume, correct body posture again. Make sure you're the right angle again from the last frame, so that she has it easy to stitch up. It's painful, guys. So try to find a quiet environment for a start. Avoid yourself that kind of a pain, because it does disrupt your flow of thought a bit. At the same time, the stitching becomes, if you're not a professional like Rennie in doing this, it's going to be a pain to stitch it in a nice manner. All right. So I think get the right environment and get the right setting is useful. Visual wise, Rennie, on Zoom and Skype nowadays, people love to have this 3D or chroma key backgrounds. Would you recommend that?
Yes, especially if virtual backgrounds is okay. But if, for example, you are a speaker or you are a trainer or you're a coach, like for example, you are a fitness coach, you want to do fitness class on Zoom, you can have background like you can actually put up your dumbbells at your side, the skipping rope, all these equipments. Like for myself, I have a few equipments as props at the back. But if, for example, there is nothing that you can do with your background, have a virtual background for yourself. You can actually put up your logo, anything that is related to your niche, your industry, I would say.
Okay, but does that affect things like, would I start blending into my background, or my arms start disappearing because the virtual background is taking over? Do those kind of things happen, or is that not a big issue?
It does if you are wearing the same color as your background.
Okay.
and then it will blend together. So it's really important to make sure your background, your virtual background is different color as what you are wearing. Like for example, if we are, some of you are not wearing the hijab like me, so just make sure, because our hair is black, right? So just make sure you don't have black background. If not, you just gonna have your shoulder. Yeah, but Nishan actually has lights at the side, so it actually distinguished the depth between himself and the background. But Nishan he's not using virtual background, so it's not really of a problem. Yeah.
So I hear that we actually have green pigmentation in our skin. So it's always good to avoid green color backgrounds or blue color backgrounds for that matter.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Any other colors that we should be avoiding?
No, that's about it. Yeah.
So guys, go ahead. Use pink, yellow, orange. Just avoid green and green. You can use red.
Of course, if you're
to paint the place red, so we can use red for Liyana. So any of those colors go.
The best is use have a real background like this, so that it's more pleasant looking in terms of the video when you're doing Zoom calls, and people could relate on what you do. For example, if you are a trainer or you're a speaker, you can have bookshelves at the back. Yeah.
Got it.
Or you can promote books like Liyana at the back. Yeah.
All right, guys, if you have any questions for our panelists, please start typing them out in the chat panel, because I'm coming to my last question for Jit, and I'm going to start wrapping this up if there are no further questions. So Jit, the question that we had from one of the participants here was, a session like this is a Zoom session. Can we edit it out into a highlight reel, for example, put it up on YouTube? If that ends up getting a lot of views, can that be monetized as well?
Okay, so any content can be monetized on YouTube, all right? Any content can be monetized on YouTube, as long as it meets or if it fits within the YouTube's community guideline. So of course, my first thing would be this. If you want to monetize your content, if you want to monetize, or if you want to earn money from YouTube, go and read the community guidelines first, all right? Because what you want to avoid is strikes, copyright strikes, violations according to their community guidelines, because all this would mean that you could be banned from YouTube. You know, your videos could be taken down. So once you've read that, okay, so things like what we're doing right now, like a Zoom recording, like an interview that's going on, it can be monetized, all right? So how you monetize it, of course, now it's a little bit tricky. Tricky not because YouTube doesn't allow it. We must understand that we must have the legalities taken care of, right? Because if I'm recording a video of myself right now, and if I put it up, you know, that's okay, because I own myself, all right? But let's just say if I'm doing an interview with someone else, you know, let's just say I've got you with me, Rahul, and I'm doing a one-on-one interview with you, and I'm recording this video on Zoom, and then I'm uploading it up to my YouTube channel, and then I'm monetizing it through paid advertisement, all right? Have I got the right to put you and monetize you on my channel? You know, which means, did I get you to sign a release form? You know, so these are just more legal aspects to it. YouTube won't care unless you start making a complaint that, hey, you know what, this person has used me to earn money, and I did not give this person permission. So if you lodge a complaint, you know, to YouTube, or if you take me to court, and if I don't have the release form to say that, yes, you did sign and release the rights, you know, to this video, then I may get into trouble. So I would say that if you're going to be doing, or if you're going to start monetizing content based on Zoom interviews, something like this, you know, get the legalities taken care of. Just a simple release form so that everyone is under, they understand what the relationship is going to be, and people know for a fact that, hey, you are going to monetize this content. You know, are you offering a profit share, or are you not offering a profit share? You know, once people are aware of it, they're more transparent, then of course. But for YouTube itself, no problem, because there are a lot of people. If you go to the TED YouTube channel, all right, TED's YouTube channel is all based on live events, right? So they produce content from live events, just like how Ideas and Inspiration we produce from live events. Right now, we can't run any live events. So even if you go to the TED channel, they've recently been uploading a few videos that's been interviews, you know, two people interviewing each other, and that's the content that's being released, and they are monetizing the content as well. So there's no issue in terms of monetization.
Great. Glad to hear. Last question for Nishant. Nishant, for online products or online trainings, what are some platforms that have been working for you?
Yeah, like I said, if you can invest in an all-in-one platform, it's much easier. What I mean by all-in-one is everything is in one place, like your page builders, your autoresponders, your payment cards, and your membership site. Everything is in one. So then you can do a lot of, a lot of things. Like, for example, more complex things, like, people go to your website, they click on the payment button, and then they don't buy, and automatically one hour later they get an email, hey, did you forget something, complete your order. So all these things are possible if you actually have one all-in-one system. That's the reason why I suggest you could go like very expensive, like Infusionsoft, which has all the bells and whistles. Or you could use something like Kajabi or Katra. So like I said, personally, I use Katra. Having used all the platforms, I'm using Katra at the moment.
Great stuff. So thank you so much, guys. And this has been a lovely session. We can keep going on and on with this. So I'm just going to go in for a wrap up. We're going to start with Jeet. Jeet, I think what I would really like to hear from you as a parting note is, what are some 5 to 7 things that we must factor in, right, when we're getting onto YouTube? And whatever else you think you want to share with our audience as additional tips or takeaways before we close this. And if there's anywhere that you want to point them to, by the way, guys, I'm going to put a disclaimer here. Usually at Up Your Game events, we do not do any upselling, and that's a promise that we have to all our audiences. So it's a zero commerce interest platform. It's a pure community space. Having said that, however, I think given the purpose of today's video is really to help trainers and speakers and coaches move online, and you have to understand that to do that, sometimes you need more in-depth education, you need more in-depth guidance, mentorship, and so we are going to let our panelists point us to certain places where they think we are able to get that. Most of it will be free. Some of it might cost you a bit, but I think if you're serious about making that shift, there is a discretionary call that we need to make. So Jeet, let's start with you, and then let's go around to the rest of the panelists, and you can share your last takeaways, last tips, techniques, strategies, pointing us in certain directions, whatever you want to share with us. Jeet.
Cool. So 5 to 7 things you must do right when you're getting onto YouTube, right? So I'm going to be answering this question from the perspective, purely from how trainers and speakers can monetize their content on YouTube, all right? So that's what I'm angling this towards. That means if you're a trainer, if you're a speaker, and you want to monetize your content on YouTube, here are 5 to 7 things you must do, all right? So first and foremost, as a trainer and speaker, my advice to you is this: when you are creating videos for your channel, don't sell people anything in your video. Right? That's not why people are coming. They're not coming to watch a sales pitch, right? They're coming to learn something. So whatever your area of expertise is, all right, make a free program out of it. So if you're a public speaking coach, have a public speaking training series that you're giving for free on YouTube. Don't hold anything back. Remember, people are subscribing to your channel. People are coming to learn from you, not to buy from you. All right? YouTube is not to sell, because if you create sales and marketing videos, all right, I'm not saying they won't work for you to sell products, but you're not going to earn money from ad revenues. Okay? There is a difference. All right? There is a difference. As a YouTube partner program, you as a YouTube partner, you earn revenue from advertisers, people who advertise their services, their products. Their ads appear either before your video, during your video, and after your video, right? Which means your video is not to sell people more things, right? So that's my number one advice. My first advice is, if you're a trainer, you're a speaker, create videos that add value. It should not have a sales aspect to it. This is me. all right? Don't sell people anything in your video. If you have a program you want to sell, as Nishant said just now, just put a simple line in the description. Hey, you know what? If you want to learn more about this, check out my online training program that I have, which speaks more in depth. Put it in the description, simple as that. But in your video, share everything, right, in that video. So once you've created great content, now here is another 5 to 7 things that you must do right. Google is a search engine. All right, which means your title must be SEO friendly. So are your descriptions for your videos. So I love self-explanatory titles. You know, I don't like titles that are overly creative, too vague, because then people don't understand what your video is about. A simple video that says how to speak confidently in front of 200 people. When people read that title, they know what the video is about, even before reading the description. But if the title says "to the moon and back," then it doesn't give people any clarity to what your video really is going to be about, you know, because it could be anything. So I love self-explanatory titles, and especially if you're a speaker and you're a trainer, if you're creating training videos, keep the title as simple as possible. It doesn't matter if 100 other people have got the same title. It's okay. It's like writing a book. You walk into a bookstore, there may be 3 to 4 books, you know, that have the same title. It's okay because the content differs, all right? So titles have got to be self-explanatory. It's got to be sweet and sharp. Descriptions have got to be SEO friendly as well, because all this helps when people are searching for the video, whether on YouTube or on Google. So make sure you put in a lot of good keywords. You know, go to Google Trends, go to Google Keyword Planner, you know, and do searches on what are the trending keywords at this point of time and what are the suggested keywords you should be using based on the content of your video, all right? Use those, add all those, make your description and title SEO friendly, and then utilize the tag function. Whenever you're uploading a new video, you can also add tags. So add tags that describe your video best. Don't use 100 different tags that you want to encompass everything. If your video is on public speaking, then, you know, put a tag, public speaking, you know, speaking confidently, presentation skills, every tag that's related to your video. I generally use about 10 to 15 tags. I don't use anything more than that, but I've seen videos where people say even 5 tags are good enough, all right? So see what works for you. Thumbnails are very important. You know, if you go to YouTube and if you're just browsing through YouTube, what you see first is a thumbnail, which is like, you know, a picture. Think of it as walking into a bookstore and you're just browsing. What is the first thing we see? We don't read the titles. We don't read the back of the book for the blurb. We look at the cover of the book and what attracts us to the book itself to take a closer look. On YouTube, the thumbnails that you create are very important. You know, I don't like using the auto thumbnails because every time you upload a video, YouTube creates screenshots from your video, which you can choose. They give you about 3 options. Upload custom thumbnails. You know, there is an option for custom thumbnails. Create nice, attractive thumbnails. If you have a graphic designer within your organization, get them to do it. If you don't, just go to Canva. Canva is free. I use Canva, right? canva.com. Go to Canva and just type YouTube thumbnail template and you will get a lot of templates. Customize the template, add in your own photos, have nice big text, all right? Remember these 2 words, modeling excellence, all right? This has served me very well for as long as I can remember. And what that means is go and see what are people who are doing really well on YouTube doing and model what they're doing. So if you go to YouTube, you be the test, right? Just look at all those thumbnails that you're seeing, see which are the kinds that really attracts you and which are the kind of thumbnails that the videos have got millions of views, and see what are they doing right with it, you know, and try to inject some of that onto your videos as well. So thumbnails are very important. So we've got titles, we've got descriptions, we've got tags, we've got thumbnails, and then you publish your video, right? So different channels have got different profiles of audiences or viewers. After a while, you will know, if you're studying your analytics, you will know what is the best time to upload new videos for your subscriber base. In the beginning, yeah, you may not know. Yeah, when you've got 10, 20 subscribers, you may not know. So just stick to a schedule. The other thing you got to do right is have a content map, have a content strategy, meaning when are you going to release videos? And my suggestion, my recommendation to you is this: you have to upload a new video every week. Okay, that should be a minimum, all right? Because people are subscribing to your channel to learn from you, all right? And if you are not giving them enough content on a regular basis, they're going to move on to different channels and you're going to lose subscribers. What's out of sight is out of mind, all right? So my suggestion is at least once every week, at the very least once in 2 weeks. You know, I wouldn't recommend it, but at the very least once in 2 weeks. If you can, once every week. Keep it consistent. If Fridays is the day that you release a video at 8 p.m., every week release a new video 8 p.m. on Friday, because that's when people are going to stay tuned. They're going to receive the notifications. When you're making your videos, ask people to subscribe to your channel. Just ask, all right? YouTube is free. No one has to pay anything to be a subscriber. No one has to pay anything to watch your videos. No, but you've got to ask for it. So in sales, it's called asking for the sale. Here, you're not asking them to buy anything. You're just asking them to subscribe to your channel. You're asking them to turn on the notification bell, right? Because subscribing to your channel is one thing, but they've also got to turn on notifications so that every time you upload a video, they get notified. Ask them to share the video to other people. Ask them to comment the videos, all right? So I don't know, Rahul, has that been more than 5 to 7 tips?
I lost count, but I'm happy, man. I'm happy. Yeah, I think this has been...
Maybe just on the last bit is just to reiterate a point earlier. Once it's uploaded, you've got all this right. Please focus on getting that organic views to your content. Push it out. You know, I can't reiterate this more. All right, you've got to do it. You've got to watch your own videos. All right, please watch your own videos. All right, and send it out to people. Encourage people. You know, get that engagement. I don't like paying for views on YouTube simply because I am not there to be the advertiser. I'm there to earn from advertisers, all right? And I've tested with advertising. Somehow it didn't work for me. I got the views. When I pay for views, you know, I've got 1,000 views for my older channels, you know, I've got the views. But what I realized is this: the moment I stop paying for views, the views just drop. And then I get no views at all. Because when you are paying for views, YouTube is going to treat you as an advertiser, you know, which means they're not going to push more of your video out. They want you to pay more. At least that's what I think. All right. So that's why I believe in getting that organic traffic. But having said that, you can run ads, like as what Liyana said, you know, on Facebook, you know, where you do it in other platforms, right? So I don't run Google ads for my Google videos, but I sometimes run Facebook ads directing traffic to YouTube, you know, so this is cross-platform. You know, you can experiment with that if you want to, but focus on the organic traffic.
Great stuff, guys. So in case anybody has missed this very subtle point that has not been overtly articulated by any of the panelists, but has been a consistent thread, it's about engagement of your community, whether it's your email database, whether it's your Facebook platforms, whether it's your Instagram platforms. You need a community that is going to follow you, that's going to support you every time you have a new video or a new product that's out. They're going to follow through the funnel. They're going to go onto the landing pages. They're going onto your YouTube. They're going to watch your stuff. So in case you want to know how to engage those communities or keep your databases active, we did that session yesterday on building and engaging communities online. So we had some really good speakers yesterday as well. So go watch episode 7. It's not uploaded yet, but it will be uploaded by the time this video is out. So for those of you watching online, go hit episode 7. For those of you who are watching live, give me 2 or 3 days, the video will be up on our YouTube page. But I think that was something else that would be interesting for you guys to catch up with. But yes, maintain your email databases, maintain your online community, something that I'm learning how to do myself as well. But it's very crucial because we don't have a following. It's very hard to put up a video and expect people to go and watch it because they've got no incentive to watch it.
My take is this, all right? Success is not going to happen overnight. And I think we have to get that mindset right. You know, if you are starting the channel today, if you are wanting to monetize your video today, be realistic, you know, have realistic expectations that take it as a 1-year journey, and you have to build that foundations up. Ideas and Inspiration started in 2018, all right? July 2018. Ideas and Inspiration started up to November of 2019. We still only had 200 subscribers. You know, we get 200 people attending every event, but it was still difficult to get people to subscribe to the channel, to watch to it, even though it's a free content. But, you know, every month there was still a little bit of subscribers, you know, but we've got to stay true to the mission and just keep producing and still putting in the work, you know, so the work never stopped. We still put the word out there, still ask people to subscribe. But when things took off, they took off really fast, all right? So 200 to 250 subscribers in November. Now is April 2020, 145,000 subscribers. You know, so when it takes off, it takes off. If you ask me how long does it take to take off, I don't know. Because there are channels that take just 2 or 3 months, and then there are channels that take about, you know, maybe up to even 2 years. You know, so we've got to learn along the way. And what I'm sharing with you is really from what are some of the mistakes that I did early on. Because if I could go back to myself in 2018 when I first started the channel, what I would share with myself is exactly what I shared here, so that we can fast track that process. But most importantly, I think we've got to be realistic about how long it's going to take to build that community, because that's really what we're building, a community, right? So be patient in building that community, but know that it will happen. Rest assured that if we put in the work and if we are creating quality content on a regular basis and we are always engaging with our subscribers or new people joining different forums, you know, and just sharing at different platforms, we will slowly start building this community. Treat your subscribers as your community, and you've got to build them ground up before YouTube realizes that, hey, you know what? These guys are popular. Let me now send more people towards them. Think of that chicken rice stall with the long queue. When you walk past it, you're going to be curious that, hey, you know, why is there a long queue there? At the very least, you would want to try it. You'll either walk away thinking it's the best chicken rice in the world and I'm going to tell everyone about it, or you're going to think it's the worst chicken rice in the world and I'm never going back. But you would have at least tried it once because of that long queue. So create that queue for YouTube so that they start promoting your channel.
Thank you so much, Jit. Really, really valuable stuff. So you guys are all masters at YouTube now. The only thing that's stopping you from getting to where Jit is action, right? Get down to doing it. That's the most important thing, right? So I'm going to start applying a lot of these tips right away. But before that, let me get on to Rennie. Rennie, last words.
Yes, hello. Okay. All right, 74%, as you know, 74% users actually watch video and it turns into sales. So you create your videos as a trainer, as a speaker, as a fitness coach or anything in this industry. You have content, create your videos. Use your phone and, you know, just use your phone and have a mic and you are good to go. You don't really have to be too detailed in the nitty-gritty stuff. As long as you have good audio, like I mentioned earlier, and you are good to go. Another point is I mentioned earlier about music. I can share with you the free music that is very basic. It's called bensound, bensound.com. So this website actually provides you with free music, but you have to credit them. Okay, there's other website as well which you need to pay, something like Audio Jungle. You can also go into, there's a new one that's new kid on the block, which is called Artlist, ARTLIST.io. Yeah, this website is the new kid on the block, and it's really usable for speakers if you want to actually download your music for your video. Of course, like I mentioned, video appeals to mobile users. Go ahead and create your content using videos, and like what Liana and Nishant said, and of course Jit said, Google loves videos. So there is nothing more that I should actually urge all of you speakers and coaches, go ahead and press that record button and film your content. I think that's it. Yes.
Renee, before we leave
Yes.
you with those words, last question, the age-old question. Should I film in landscape or portrait?
Okay. Right. Okay. This landscape and portrait argument has been going around for years. So vertical videos are the in trend right now because of our mobile phones. It depends on the type of platform you want to put up in your video, whether you want to put up on YouTube, whether you want to put up on Instagram, whether you want to put up on Facebook, because Facebook right now, they allow you to include the vertical videos. So if you are actually putting up on YouTube and basically professionally looking, it's will be the landscape videos. Yeah, so have your camera in landscape mode and record your video to put up in YouTube. For Instagram, what you can do is, if you are the master of vertical videos, you can actually go ahead and do vertical videos for your Instagram stories or Instagram live. So all these videos, you can actually put it up as a content as well. So again, it depends on where is the platform that you want to put your videos in. Yeah, again, there's no right or wrong. Now is no right or wrong. For years, I've been telling my clients or even speakers, trainers, please have your video on landscape, because you don't watch TV or your computer in vertical, don't you? Yeah. So right now, vertical has evolved. Vertical videos is the new kid on the block. So there's no right and wrong. Yeah, you can actually create videos on vertical if you want to upload it on Instagram or Facebook.
Good, great. Renee,
Yes.
by the way, you can use two cameras, one vertical, one landscape, and record both at the same time.
Can.
No,
Why not?
So my last question for you, in 1 minute, okay, very quick, 1 minute.
Okay, right.
Tell us about the power of editing, because I think you missed out on that. You've not told us anything about editing yet.
Okay. If you're talking about content, talking about the topics that you want to talk about, the editing part, it has to be sharp, has to be tight. So removes all the blinking, long pause, remove all that, so that you can have your videos sharp, on the point, and your audience can catch all your key points, your takeaways in probably 20 minutes if your content is long. Sometimes if, for example, your content is just worth 5 minutes, then it's 5 minutes. As long as you remove all the unnecessary pauses and the ers and the and all that. Yes. So it has to be tight. Editing has to be tight.
Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Renee. Liana.
Most welcome.
I'm sorry, Liana, this is way past 8:30, but I appreciate it. Tell us your final takeaways.
Yes. So my first takeaway is know your audience. Really go and understand your audience. The second one is try with $5. Okay, you don't have to be a very large company. You can just start with something very small, just a $5 daily budget, and then you review, refine, and repeat. The third tip I have is find your golden ratio. Once you have enough data, you'll be able to realize that, okay, it will take me 50 people to visit my website to send an inquiry. And out of these inquiries, maybe, 2 people will sign up. So once you find your golden ratio, you can even anticipate exactly what you need to spend on your marketing budget. And if you're doing it right, your marketing budget should go down unless there are going to be a lot more competitors. So if there's going to be more competitors, then your marketing budget might go up. But if you're doing your marketing right and you have word of mouth, then hypothetically, the marketing cost should go down. My fourth tip is anticipate how COVID will change marketing. For example, at the moment, there are so many people at home. Everyone is at home, and ad costs are actually lower because a lot of people are, I think, too sad to click on ads. But if you have a product or service that is very helpful to people, then this is the time to advertise. So, there's going to be possibly 150,000 to 200,000 retrenchments in Singapore. So if you're a career coach, for example, then this is the time that, you should be advertising your services. But obviously you have to make sure that your ads are appropriate for whatever you're selling, because it is such a sensitive time that you don't want it to come off the wrong way. You need to position yourself as someone who's actually helping your audience, get through this difficult period. So yeah, those are my tips to close off.
The last question I have for you before we let you off the hook would be, ad dollars spending can be quite diverse. And I do understand that depending on the industry, sector, product, it differs quite drastically. Even within training itself, for example, communications might be more expensive as compared to, say, safety, which is a bigger niche. So, but as a ballpark, if you could give a little guide, if somebody wants to run a successful campaign, what would be a decent budget to set aside, maybe on a monthly basis or annual basis?
It really depends on how much competition there is. So, for example, if you're in, let's say, the leadership space, I would say it can cost a lot because there's so much competition, so maybe you don't want to lead with that particular course that you're trying to do. So my advice would be try to find a niche, and then again, through various experiments, you'll figure out what the lowest ad cost was. For example, when I tried to advertise webinars, I found that my cost was way too expensive. So on Facebook, it could take up to $1.50 just to get a click. And to me, that was way too expensive. But after I tweaked my advertisements, after I looked at the colors and all that, I was able to go down to half that price. So again, experimentation is your best friend. And I think every company is different. So really, the only way to figure it out is just by trying it out yourself, because I think, the more established companies, so let's say you're a university, you might not need to, advertise that much because people already know you are synonymous for quality. However, for us small businesses, we might have to spend more than the big organizations, even though, we don't have that budget. So for us, we have to be creative. We have to see what kind of ad format works. Is it video? Is it image? Is it the color? Is it the format? Is it the size? So all these, small factors will go into what makes the winning ad. And that's how you can bring the cost down.
Great. Thank you so much, Liyana. Really, really insightful. Appreciate that a lot. Nishant, let's wrap up with you.
Okay, so my final tips is number one, create your 50 articles. That's the first thing. And it's an ongoing process. And the easy way is to go and look your email. And people have asked you so many questions, how to do this, how to do this, how to do this. So these are your questions, and you can actually create content from them. So create your 50 small posts. That is number one tip. Number two is create your online course curriculum. And this is the most important step, record it. Only for you, you can delete it, but you want to get into the action of shooting. And it could be the worst video ever. It's perfectly fine, but you need to get it out and you need to just delete it. So just an example, Rahul, give me any topic on the planet.
How to build great rockets.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is module number one. In module number one, we're going to talk about the specific types of rocket that you'll be using for going to Mars, for example. So for going to Mars, you need to have a rocket that has enough takeoff velocity with the help of which you can reach Mars to the highest level. You get the point. You could just, of course, I just made that up, but what I'm trying to tell you is You got to get confident in front of the video, especially for your topics, and shoot the video. And if you don't like it, delete it. It's perfectly fine, but you got to get into the act of shooting. So if you go to my Vimeo, that I've been using, I use Vimeo to host all my videos. I've got 500 videos, and some of these videos, not even my wife has watched. I just put them there because just to show my, one day I will show some of you guys if we meet up the kind of video that I've made, and I cringe when I look at those videos because it's so bad. But then it's a kind of a personal transformation for me to say, hey, where I was and where I am. Number two. Number three. After you do the trial video recording, now you will become more confident. You create your actual video recording, and of course, remember the MCT I talked about. So you can go back and look at what MCT is all about. And here's the most important thing. And it happened for me with JIT. You never know when you go viral. You can go viral tomorrow. I mean, who knows, this webinar is going to be on fire and then millions of people are watching this video right now. I don't know. And then people are thinking, holy cow, who are these people, man? Let me just search for these people. You never know when that's going to happen. And when that happens...
Can you monetize this, JIT, please? And we all get a cut. Thanks.
Well, let's talk about this. Well, you've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, when that becomes viral, and when people come to you, when they look for you, like for example, every day I open up LinkedIn, I've got 30, 40 invitations. Facebook, I've lost count of how many pending invitations that I have. I mean, this is real stuff happening right now. We've got 50, 60,000 people watching my video. People are coming to my website. I've got my Facebook pixel blowing up my course thing, and I'm getting sales. Now, did I prepare my course for this day? No, I am not. But I'm so happy that I did, and something along once in a while comes in your way. You never know when that happens. When you have that, you have something to offer people. I'm not just talking about money. A lot of people come to my website, they don't buy. But then they look at me and say, wow, man, this guy is good. Let me at least subscribe to his damn YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is blowing up. It's like started from 0 in this year. It's now close to 5,000 subscribers. So people are just coming. So my point is, be out there and be ready. And you just need one viral hit. And it can come anytime. You can never, just like COVID hit us. One viral video is going to hit us, or one viral article is going to hit us. And at that time, if you have an asset, like an online course, you can really make the most of it. And even, for example, even let's say viral doesn't happen, but you have an asset, at the least, give it to all your course participants as, hey, you know what, you come to my course, free gift for you, that you can actually use it. I mean, it's like I don't know for how many people ask me, like I do different types of topics. Sometimes I go to my decision makers, and if they're interested in memory, because I do a lot of motivational speaking these days, but if they're interested in memory, I just give them access to my online course. Hey, check it out. And then they think, wow, really, you give access to me? And then they look at them and say, oh, this is good. Can we do a topic like that? So if you have an asset, there are 101 ways of how you can use it, but you got to have one. So that is my suggestion. Of course, I'm a huge believer in building lists. You can have as many YouTube subscribers as you want. You can have as many Facebook and Instagram followers you have, but you want to sell your course, the easy way is to build a list. That's the reason why I always try to build my list. So for people who are watching this webinar, this is where you go and enter your name and email address. I'll send you some free information. You can unsubscribe anytime, and that is how I build my list. So you should be doing the same too. So thank you very much, Rahul.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nishant. Thank you so much, JIT, Liyana, Renee. I think this has been a fantastic session, and not only just a session, but this has been a fantastic wrap up to the entire series that we have had over 8 episodes. And I think this is gold. Every episode has awed me as to how much information, how much knowledge, how much sharings people are willing to give. And I could not have asked for a more perfect roundup to this entire series. So thank you guys so much for giving us this little masterclass in how do we monetize or create content for the online space. I really hope that all of you who have been watching this have had your pens and papers with you, because it has been tremendous amount of gold nuggets that have been given out. Do share your notes
my
with
notes.
people around you. This video will be up in 3 to 4 days. So once the video link is up, please share it around with your friends who can benefit from this. Wow, there's a lot, Liyana.
I thought my notes is good, but I think
No,
your notes
I was furiously, especially when Jit was giving us all these money-making ideas, and then, you know, I was just like writing it down.
You know, all of y'all are just making me look really bad now. I'm looking for papers, that previous notes, and I can't find any on the table when you need something. Now, I want to throw something up too.
Yeah.
No, you can just throw your brain. Your brains are like.
I mean, this is the thickness of my notes, yeah. So this is how much notes I'm taking. So guys, this has been tremendously good. So those of you who are watching this video, please come back to the YouTube channel, subscribe, comment, share. I'm implementing Jeet's advice here, all right? And I'm gonna just give out my telephone number, +65 9047 1666. You can call me for scam calls. I've become really good at irritating the life out of scammers. So if you plan to do that, if you've got extra time on your hand, I'll be very happy to. If not, please message me if you guys need to get connected to any of our speakers, or if you want to have more information about what kind of resources are available for trainers, speakers, and coaches. I'm involved in another wonderful organization called the Guild of International Speakers and Trainers, and very soon we'll be rolling out some efforts to support that community as well. So we'll be curating some resources for you guys, and we'll be rolling something out there. Captain Shankar, who's the president of the Guild, is online with us. So I'm doing this with his blessings for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, please comment your takeaways, share your takeaways, help your friends to learn. If you know anybody who's in trouble, this is just for them. And go and watch the other episodes. We have 7 other episodes for you to catch up on. And with this, I really call it a day for COVID-19 survival series. This is not the end of what we do. Our programming continues. It's not just will be for survival. The next step is really to seize opportunities and thrive and grow. So we're going to move on to something else from next week onwards. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, keep your masks on, and like the Prime Minister of Singapore said, keep your droplets to yourself. All right?
Perfect. Nice talking to you guys, everyone. Thanks, Rahul, and thanks everyone on the panel. Learned a lot today. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Raul. Thanks, everyone. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye.